Got a brand new bait here. This is the Jackall Chibitarel, which is basically the same thing as the Gantarel Jr., which isn't out yet in the States. There's the packaging for it. It's just a smaller version of the Gantarel. This bait, you can see your dimensions right there, 130 millimeters, 43.5 grams, and that's basically going to come out to about 5 inches and 1.5 ounces. So a little look at the packaging right there. But if you guys are familiar with the Gantarel, you know it's a bluegill swim bait, and it's I don't want to say it's large. I mean it's a large bait. It is a swim bait, but basically what they wanted to do was just offer a bait that's just that you won't have to throw on swim bait gear, and you know, being at 1.5 ounces, this bait will certainly once you do that, you know, it just gives you another size, and it's a really cool bait. I've always liked Jackall, and one thing that's cool with some of these other companies starting to do swim baits, some of these larger Japanese companies like Jackall and Duo and Megabass, is they've got a good track record at offering a variety of sizes and colors that you're not always able to get from some of the, you know, little smaller swim bait manufacturers. One thing that's cool with Jackall, see there, you've actually got 2 line ties. That's, you know, pretty cool. You can tie right up there on top, or you can tie underneath, give you a little bit different action. This is a floating bait. It's kind of what I'd say, it's a little bit of a slow floater. There's only really about one video on YouTube of a guy over in Japan, and the water he's fishing is a little, it's definitely murky. It's almost muddy, you could say. You can't really see it that well in the water, but what you can see is a very lifelike action, and he makes the bait kick out and do some 180s where he twitches the rod and the bait, you know, turns around like that, and then it'll just slowly float up. It looks very nice in the water, and of course the colors are super realistic. Ghost Gill is that's this one, and you know, very realistic one. They've got Spawn Gill. They've got kind of a shiny, kind of a chrome type one. They've got one that's kind of well, actually, you know what? I could probably just show you. I've got it right here. You know, you got you know, kind of your standard Jackall colors. A few of the other ones, Dying Shiner, and you know, a few a little more exotic. But and I'm not sure exactly which ones they're bringing in the U.S. Some of them are, you know, check that out. You know, there's going to be some cool ones, but I think most people are probably going to gravitate towards some of these more natural looking ones, because I mean, when you have a profile like this and you're throwing a swim bait like this, you want a very realistic bluegill imitation. I mean, that's exactly what this bait is. You know, the shape of it, everything. The feathered treble hooks, which I also want to add, are really nice on these baits. You know, you're looking at you know, an incredibly realistic bluegill. Here's a look at the bottom of it. You can kind of see the segments. You got your little fins on the side, and a lot of these companies. Let's look at the top of it. A lot of these companies, you know, they've all kind of got their own realistic style little bluegill. You know, whether it's 3 segments or 2 or whatever, they've all kind of got one on the market now. Depths has had the bull shooter for a while. You had the Gantarel come out and do extremely well. Huddleston, they've got the Hud Gill. Evergreen is about to get into the game. They've got the Brim Slide, which looks really cool. Evergreen is another super cool Japanese company that I like. You know, Megabass, they had the Eye Slide, which is kind of more of a, I guess more of a trout or a baby bass. I'm kind of surprised that they don't have a competing bluegill out yet. I'm sure they're probably working on it right now, or for all we know, it might already be out in Japan and we don't know about it. But I'm sure there's probably some others I've forgotten as well. But basically, you know, there's a lot of these really realistic bluegill swim baits out there in the market right now, whether it's by small little 1 and 2 man swim bait operations here in the States, or if it's from bigger companies like Jackall that have gotten into the game. But this is a really awesome bait. I highly recommend you guys checking it out. I love that you don't have to throw it on a big swim bait rod. You know, you can tie it on, you know, one of your regular rods. You know, I've got some medium heavies and some heavy actions that can throw a 1.5 ounce bait just fine. Super cool bait. I'm gonna show it off one more time. Also, the tail, I can't remember if I mentioned this or not. You got a little place you can add a little stinger hook or something. The little things like that just make the bait cool. And also the price. Should be about $30, I think, is what they're shooting for in the States. So, you know, it's expensive, but as far as swim baits go, a whole lot cheaper than some of the others floating around out there, which is definitely cool. Really, really awesome. I'm super excited to fish this thing. Very cool looking bait. So you guys take it easy. This is the Jackall Chibitarel or Gantarel Jr. You guys take it easy.